Top Gun Maverick is probably the best experience in the cinema I have ever had. Having flown over $1 billion at the box office, pun intended, it's Tom Cruise's most successful film in a 40-year career. But why is this? Why is Top Gun Maverick so incredible? Most media outlets have put its triumph down to the incredible use of practical effects, respectful nods to its predecessor, and of course, Tom Cruise again proving himself as one of the last great movie stars. And while each of course played their part, they're missing the real secret to its success: Top Gun Maverick's structure. As George Clooney once said, "It's possible to make a bad movie out of a good script, but you can't make a good movie from a bad script." See, without a strong framework, it doesn't matter how good your actors are, the cinematography, special effects. Audiences watch films for the storytelling. It wouldn't matter that Miles Teller was really filmed inside a fighter plane. It wouldn't matter that Ed Harris really stood under this jet as it blew off the top of the set. You need an excellent script to hang all of these on. But how can you understand how Top Gun Maverick did it? The answer lies with Michael Arndt. Who is Michael Arndt, I hear you ask? This is Michael Arndt, Oscar-winning screenwriter of movies including Little Miss Sunshine and Toy Story 3. In his masterclass of film structure, available on his criminally undersubscribed YouTube channel, he explains that a great movie lives and dies on its stakes. Without stakes, there is no drama. Without drama, there is no movie. Arndt writes that there are 3 sets of stakes in any great film, and it is the way they are flipped in the final moments that makes a legendary movie. Firstly, the external stakes. These are the easiest to understand as they are embodied by the obvious narrative goal of the movie. Will James Bond save the world? Will Batman protect Gotham from the Joker? You get it. In Top Gun Maverick, the external stakes are: will the Top Gun crew save the nation from the unnamed bad guys? Number 2, the internal or emotional stakes. This is the inner journey the character must take, often seen as a flaw in their personality that they must conquer to win out over the external stakes. This is Woody having to get over his jealousy of Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, or Shrek learning to allow others into his previously reclusive life in, well, Shrek. In Top Gun Maverick, the emotional stakes are the relationship of Maverick and Rooster. Maverick must let go of Rooster and the guilt over his father's death to let Rooster become his own man and thus to rekindle their bond. Now, both of these are fairly well-known concepts to those who have ever picked up a screenwriting book, but Michael Arndt's special sauce comes in the form of a third set of stakes: the philosophical. The philosophical stakes center on the beliefs of our characters and the world around them. At the beginning of the movie, there will be a dominant worldview that opposes the beliefs of our protagonist. In Top Gun Maverick, I believe this comes in 2 parts. Firstly, the philosophy of the Navy has changed from its old ways. It now believes in technology, code, and the rules that come with them, not people power and the heart of quote-unquote traditional heroes. Maverick is being put out to pasture, a relic from a bygone era. Our protagonist will rail against this dominant philosophy with what Michael Arndt calls the underdog values of the movie. Maverick still believes in people, in heroes of old, but this worldview is fading, hence underdog value. Secondly, within the Top Gun school, there is a philosophy of selfishness and individuality, most accurately personified in the character of Hangman. Again, Maverick must challenge this widely held view, putting forward his underdog values of teamwork and collaboration, which is incidentally the lesson he had to learn in the first movie. It is the way these stakes are flipped in the final act that makes Top Gun Maverick the incredible success that it is today. It's why you walk out of the theatre wanting to tell everyone how brilliant it is. To see how they did this though, we must understand Star Wars. Hold on, what? Yes, Star Wars: A New Hope, the 1977 film that started a movement and was partly filmed at Shepperton Studios in London, which is totally not relevant, but is a fun fact people often don't realise. Why Star Wars? Because the ending of Top Gun Maverick closely mimics A New Hope, and that film did pretty well as well. Let's quickly set up the stakes of Star Wars as Michael Arndt does. Firstly, external stakes. In Star Wars: A New Hope, these take the form of the survival of the rebellion, a goal which will be achieved via the blowing up of the Death Star. Secondly, internal or emotional stakes. This is Luke Skywalker's internal arc, his call to greatness. He wants a bigger life, but will he be able to achieve it, to become a true Jedi and use the Force? Finally, philosophical stakes. This is, like Top Gun in part, selfishness versus collaboration and altruism. Okay, now you know the stakes of Star Wars, let's apply it to the film's ending so we can understand how Top Gun Maverick used it to create the same audience reaction. Stay with me, it is worth it. So, it's the climax of A New Hope and all is looking bleak for Luke Skywalker and the rebellion. His mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, is dead, Han Solo has selfishly deserted him, and Darth Vader has him in his gun sights. Yes, I know you've seen it before, but watch it again, seeing how the stakes are masterfully flipped one by one to create an epic movie ending. As with any good climax, it's darkest before the dawn, and the audience can't see any way out for Luke. He hears the voice of mentor Obi-Wan in his ear telling him to use the Force, after which he turns off his computer targeting system. As the enemy close around him, you're thinking, what the hell is he doing? He's about to be blown to pieces, until boom! Han Solo arrives back in what Michael Arndt calls the Decisive Act. The Decisive Act embodies the underdog values in the movie, thus flipping the philosophical stakes the other way. Han Solo has gone from selfish deserter to now being on the side of collaboration and altruism. Solo's arrival distracts the baddies, allowing Luke the time to focus on his goal of firing at the Death Star. With the voice of his mentor still fresh in his ear, he uses the Force to fire, thus exploding the Death Star and flipping the external stakes of the movie. The rebellion has survived. As he flies away, he hears Obi-Wan's voice in his ear. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Luke has conquered the internal stakes. He was meant for something greater. Now, what the hell does that have to do with Top Gun Maverick? Okay, I'm getting there. In Top Gun Maverick's final moments, Maverick and Rooster are dogfighting in the air with the enemy. While a large part of the external stakes have already been accomplished by blowing up the base, they are yet to be wholly defeated. Just as with Luke Skywalker, it looks as if our protagonists aren't going to make it out. Their plane is failing, they've run out of bullets. The audience have no idea how they can get out of this one when, huzzah! Hangman arrives to shoot down the enemy, thus flipping the philosophical stakes of the movie just like Han Solo. Even in their less modern planes, by working together, they've won out. Teamwork is more important than selfishness. People power does beat technology. Screw you, Ed Harris. Hangman shooting down the jet also flips the external stakes of the film. The bad guys are finally finished. As Maverick and Rooster arrive back on the aircraft carrier, they hug. Maverick was able to let go of Rooster, and through doing so, they are able to rekindle the bond between Maverick and Rooster's family, just as Rooster's father Goose would have wanted. This closes the final set of stakes, the internal, and it is this quick succession of flipping the stakes, like storytelling dominoes, that is the secret to Top Gun Maverick's incredible success. Accomplishing all three of a film's goals in 2 minutes, that is why it's an amazing movie. That is the reason why you want to punch the air when you walk out of the theatre. No, it's not quite as tightly plotted as Star Wars, but when you're comparing yourself to possibly the most famous film of all time, I'd say that's not too bad. If you're a filmmaker or just a fan and you'd like to hear more lessons and stories from the world's most successful filmmakers and crew, make sure to check out my podcast, Red Carpet Rookies, where I've interviewed the likes of Deadpool director Tim Miller, Social Network cinematographer Jeff Cronenwith, Inside Out writer Meg LaFauve, and many, many more. The link is in the description below. I'll see you next time.